So Big Dog 24. Yes, I am. I am law enforcement. It's a pleasure you joining the live. Here in Shelby County, Tennessee. I'm going to Police Academy in October. That's good. I'm glad you is. Just if you're not already in shape, like I said, just make sure you keep going to the gym. Make sure you are, staying active in the gym. At Memphis, bro. I'm going to be in Tupelo. I don't blame you. Now, oh, I think, right now, I think Mississippi, far as salary wise, I think it has topped our salary right now. So you're probably doing the great thing choosing to do law enforcement in Mississippi. I mean, we get paid okay, here in Shelby County, but it could be better. But you know, our sheriff is fighting to give us some more money, but him and the mayor they've been fighting with this budget, so it'd be nice to get some more money. But my good luck to you on the academy. I hope you make it through the process, and I hope it's a smooth one. And like I said, just make sure you still going to the gym if you're not in there already. And I mean, even if and it's not ill, but when you make it through the academy and you finally hired, through their police department, just make sure you keep going to the gym. Like I said, never stop going to the gym. Stay fit, stay in shape. If I'm gonna work 4 years, then go to MHP and say, yeah, law enforcement don't get paid what the job's worth, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't. I mean, like I said, we get paid okay, but I don't think law enforcement officers don't get paid way more enough than the work that we actually do on the job. So I said the pay is okay. Could it be more? Yes, but like I said, there's pros and cons to it. So See, how long have you been on the force? So I've been, well, uh, county wise, I've been with Shelby County government for 10 years. But as far as law enforcement, I've been a law enforcement officer for 8 of those years. One of those years, I was a deputy court clerk in a criminal court. I did a year of that, and then I transitioned to a deputy jailer. I worked in the jail. I did that for a year, and then the sheriff office was hiring, so I applied. I got in, and I've been with it since, and I actually enjoy it. So, so I've been on for 6 of those years. I was in patrol on night shift, and like I said, I did my 6 years, and I decided to come to civil courts. And so I figured I had enough of the streets. The laws was beginning to change, and how the public viewed law enforcement officers, wasn't the best at that time, um, but their points was valid due to the things that there were some officers out there, and there are some out there still that haven't been upholding the integrity and of the badge. So my apologies for that. So, but like I said, there are good officers out there who that does their job. But around that time period, when I was in patrol, I saw what law enforcement was becoming. The laws was changing. It kind of almost seemed as though things weren't in our favor. We was out catching the guys and they getting right back out, or we were kind of limited as far as some of the things that we could do, because of the public outcries and, things of that nature. Like I said, some of the points were valid. So, but like I said, those 6 years in patrol, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the hunt, the thrill, the chase, and and also above all, I also enjoy serving the community. That was my way of giving back. You know, and like I said, I went to the University of Tennessee at Martin. I got my bachelor's degree in political science, public administration, and of course, just like any other college student, that graduate out of college, had trouble finding a job. And like I said, I came across the sheriff's office, and I've been enjoying it since. So I have no complaints on that. Said the police, the teachers should make NBA money. That is my opinion. I never ran to an officer if you respect or they respect. I appreciate that, John Michaels. That means a lot. It's like you ever had a deal with racist officers. Matthew Rivera. Um, no, I have not, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed that I pray I never have to experience that. But no, most law enforcement officers that I've worked with and I came across, have treated me with respect. And like I say, I was raised in a household. I was raised in a marriage household, and that was one of the first things that I learned as a child. Respect. Respect your elders. Respect. People in authority. And, unless otherwise. But like I said, I haven't came across a person that I never shown any disrespect towards, and like even when I was in patrol, um, yeah, there are gonna be some harsh words and things said, but like I said, when you wear this badge, you gotta you have to do your duties with the utmost professionalism, like regardless of how tiring and draining this career may be. But like I said, this career is not for everybody, of course. But at the end of the day, you know what you signed up for, and you know the oath that you took. So That's exactly why I'm going through this route to the streets and being part of the most of my life have something being able to trust myself. Yeah, and like I said, just remember what you're doing it for too as well, big dog. Hello, how you doing? How you doing? Well, not drink. Oh, is there is there any questions that y'all would like to ask about law enforcement, or if you are interested in being a law enforcement officer? And like I said, I've spent 6 years in patrol, and like I said, 2 of those years I've been working here in civil courts. But like I said, I've done 6 years of patrol. I've gained that experience to know, what go on. What required things you need to become a law enforcement officer? Well, Rivera, that really depends on the agency of who you are applying for. I know one. I know, of course, you have to fill out the application, and you have to be as truthful, as and thorough and truthful as possible, especially on this section that asks, about any family members that have been, incarcerated and things like that. So be as truthful and honest in your application. Of course, you got to go through two different types of interviews. Like I said, I don't know the process in other agencies in different states, but I just know, far as the sheriff's office, I just know that, of course, you do the application. They do a very thorough background check, and you got to go through two interview processes. And but before you do any of that, I do know you have to do the physical agility test. So that's why I say make sure, if you're not fit now, I highly recommend that you, get in the gym like right away. Like go ahead, get a start on staying fit. I know the physical qualifications that had to be met was you had to be able to run a mile in a certain amount of time. You had to do a certain amount of push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups, um, long jumps, and what else? I can think of. Ooh, it's been a minute. I think that's about all I can think of as far as when you're applying to become law enforcement officer of the sheriff's office. But yeah, just stay fit, stay in shape, be as honest and truthful with your application. Don't lie about anything because they will find out and they are going to investigate. And that's about all I can think of. Of course, when you're going through the academy, you have to take 40 hours. Uh, the academy was like 6 months long. Um, and really, in that 6 months span of time, you really kind of cramming in a lot of information. Um, course, you gotta they'll learn different laws, policies, and tactics, self defense. Of course, you have to learn how to shoot. Have to learn how to operate your weapons and things like that. So, like I said, I can't go in too much apologies, guys. I was on the phone, but nice to see you again. Nice to see you, Blue Eyes. I know I ain't seen you in a minute either. On here, he said, "Can you scream like a ship horn?" Man, I don't know what you're talking about, but yes, I appreciate talking to you this morning. I'm about to run a couple of miles, but stay safe, my brother. Thank you, Big Dog. You stay safe too, and I appreciate our dialogue we've had, man. Hey, Blue Eyes, I've been good. Just trying to. I don't know for some strange reason, my sleep pattern has been off. Don't know why, but my sleep pattern has been off. So I just been trying to get my sleep pattern back right, and my wife's birthday is this coming Wednesday, but we did a birthday party for her this weekend. So yeah, but yeah, I haven't been going on live early in the mornings like I used to because changing up the schedule and me getting up late for work. So that's what's been going on. Happy early birthday. Have you ever watched some shows we suggested? Oh man, I forgot those shows. You're gonna have to send them to me again. You're gonna have to send comment on them for me again. I'm gonna have to screenshot it as soon as you do. Well, my face was the enemy death. No, hold on, I'm finna screenshot it right now so I can remember. Cool.